Awesome. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate the help. So welcome to the August National Sales Call. We've had some technical difficulty today getting everybody in, so apologize about that. If you can hear us but you can't get in for some reason, please log out of the webinar, the GoToMeeting, and back in. I had some issues coming in early as well as the other sales leaders, so sorry about that. Hopefully you can get in. If not, we are certainly recording this, and we'll get this information out this afternoon for you to watch on a recording overall. So we'll jump in and get started for the day. As usual, we'll try to keep this to 30 to 35 minutes. We do have everyone muted, so if you have a question, please use the chat feature of the GoToWebinar. Matt can pause the call for that, the quick question. And we've got some great news to share today. We're off to a great start in the month of August. We'll share that in a couple of minutes. So this is our agenda for today, which is typical of our national sales call. We'll kick it off with some opening comments. Joe is on vacation this week, a well-deserved vacation, and our star Chief Financial Officer, Jamie Linden, is going to stand in for him and open the call for us today. We'll talk about our 16 sales results, recent new wins, organic growth initiative, and then closing comments. And we'll certainly try to target that 30 to 35 minutes overall. So with that, I'm going to ask Jamie to join and make a few opening comments before.
We spent a lot of time, rightfully so, on organic growth, and that's the main kind of engine of Ascension's overall growth. And we talk about pipeline and the importance of a pipeline in terms of hitting our written business. So we have a producer pipeline that we also look at for our hiring. And producer recruiting is particularly important. That's how we're going to grow the business, obviously. And we really wanted to reach out to you guys today just to remind you and ask you again to think about folks in your network who you think might be a good fit for Ascension. If you look on the slide, we've got some data here. We have a goal internally, strategically, of trying to hire at least 2 producers a quarter. Of course, if we find more people like that, we certainly would hire more, but we try and shoot for 2. And we'd actually been doing a pretty good job of that, I'd say, going back to the third quarter of last year, really through the first quarter of this year. But we had a goose egg in Q2 of this year. And currently our producer pipeline is quite lean. And so, we have a goal of 2 in Q3 and 2 in Q4, but we don't have very good coverage on that. And so, the way we source candidates is really through 2 channels. One, we have a few executive recruiters we work with, and 2 is referrals from folks like yourselves. Our employees. And we've typically found historically that those producer referrals that come from our producers or our service staff are the most successful and the producers who stay the longest with us from those who we hire. So, it's real important, that we, again, ask you guys to try and help us with building up our producer pipeline. Who are we looking for? We're looking for folks in P&C or employee benefits. What's really important is cultural fit. You guys know our culture well. Many of you have been with us for a number of years. We're looking for people who have that sales gene, but also want to do it within the context of what we're trying to build at Ascension in terms of organic growth and all the things that revolve around that. We are looking for folks that have a proven track record of exceeding sales targets, but that doesn't mean that they have to have a huge book of business. We'll look at folks that have some experience in selling insurance, but don't have a large book of business. We'll call those investment hires, but we're equally interested as those as we are with folks who have a large book of business that they could potentially bring over. And of course, we're looking for people who are interested in being part of a growth-oriented business like we have at Ascension. So, I'd like to ask each of you, if you could, just think about it over the next maybe couple of days. Think about your network. Think about the people you know in the industry, and see if you can come up with 3 folks, who are currently producers. Again, maybe just have a couple of years experience, or maybe it's 10, 15 years, and reach out to them. And maybe they're not interested in making a move right now, or they're happy where they're at, but just maybe let them know a little bit about who we are and let them know that we're interested. And that would really help us go a long way towards trying to hit our targets. And at the end of the day, we have a sales goal this year of $8.3 million, and we're doing a great job in terms of being well on our way to hitting that goal. But next year, that's going to go up, right? And we want to continue to grow the business. And we can only ask so much of the folks on the phone, right? Ultimately, we're going to have to keep bringing on people to grow that new business number. So it's real important that we continue to find good candidates who can help us grow the business and be a part of the team. The last thing I'll mention is we do have the producer referral bonus. So you will get paid if you're able to refer someone over who we wind up hiring, and it's $15,000, and that's we came up with that number by looking at what we traditionally pay an external recruiter. So there's an opportunity here, I think, to get paid and make some money through referrals as well. The last thing I'll add is that what I'm talking about here is producer referrals, but to the extent that owners of agencies who are potentially looking to sell their business down the road, or potentially sell it within the next few months or whatever it is, you can help us on the M&A side as well. We're very actively looking at firms across the country, particularly in the areas where our offices are located. And we found, if we look back at the last 3 or 4 deals that we've done on the M&A side, I think 3 of those 4 deals were through referrals by people who worked at Ascension. So again, that's another area where that could really benefit us and benefit you. We have, similar to our producer referral bonus, we have a M&A referral bonus as well, which I'd be happy to go into detail if anybody has any questions about it. So that was really all I wanted to go over. Again, thanks for the time, and appreciate all your efforts in helping us trying to find really good producer candidates out there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jamie, for your help, and good luck with your interviews today. I will give a quick shout out to Kelly Tonsing and the Personal Lines team in North Carolina. Kelly found Becky Dayton, who joined us yesterday, to be a Personal Lines sales team member. Very impressed with Becky, and I'm sure she'll bring great things to the team in North Carolina. So we did hire a new Personal Lines salesperson yesterday in Becky Dayton in North Carolina. So if you have a chance, send Becky a note. Wish her well in her career with Ascension. Next up are our 2016 sales goals and where we are to our goals. So we'll jump right into that. This is the graph we look at on a monthly basis that shows our goal for each month for 2016 and our actual. So for the month of July, we did miss our goal. Our goal was $1 million basically for July. We came in at $419,000. I do know of a couple of deals that are being finalized that will probably impact our July numbers, but I don't think that'll push it much over $475,000 at this point. So we will miss there. We also missed the month of June. So we started out strong. January through May, we exceeded our goal, which is fantastic. We missed June. We missed July. And I look back at June and July, and 2 weeks prior to each month, our coverage ratio was in the low 4 times area. So that is the best leading indicator we have of future success for hitting a monthly sales goal. And so both June and July were 4.2 and 4.4 respectively, and we missed. So that's clear that we certainly need to get our pipeline to 5X or higher. So we'll continue to talk about that as we go through the call. The good news is it's August 2nd, and we've exceeded our August goal. So congratulations to the sales team. Goal of $1,207,000, and we're currently at $1,261,000. Actually, this was as of yesterday. We're around $1,003,000 already. So great start. Team ACS has been really hot for 8-1. Thank you for that, Team ACS and others. We need to continue to push hard for the month of August. There's $2.85 million left in the pipeline as of today, and in the pipe, and there's 1.3 of non-ACS business. I'm sure we'll close out some more ACS business, but would love to make a big dent in that last 4 months in the remainder of August. So continue to push hard, which I guess we can go ahead and say that we're 6 of 8 for the year. So great news. Congratulations to the team as well. This is our chart by business unit. So we should be around 58% of goal. 7 months out of 12 would be 58%. So congratulations to team ACS, WRB, Pan Am, and Georgia for being ahead of goal so far. Great work there, and that was outlined in the Ascension Connection that went out just yesterday. I will give a quick shout out to Lee Page, the author of the Connection. Thank you so much, Lee, for your good work there. We appreciate your time and effort on that. This is our pipeline analysis by our sales team. So what this looks at is what's the remaining goal by sales team and what the pipeline coverage looks like. Draw your attention to the bottom in red. So we'd like that to be at least 5 times. So Team ACS as well as Pan Am and Fresno are significantly higher than that, and the others are right on, WRB being over. But this is an area where we need to make sure we have that 5 times minimum coverage going forward for the remainder of the year, so we can hit September through December sales goals as well and exceed that $8.3 million. This is an area that we put in last month and we'll continue to look at going forward. We're doing more analysis around individual annual sales goal attainment. So as I mentioned earlier, being through July, we should be around 58% of goal. So here is our annual sales goal leaderboard, folks who are 100% of their annual sales goal. So big shout out to this group. Thank you so much for a great year, and please continue to push hard, finish the year strong overall. Currently, we have 26% of our sales team at or above their annual sales goal, which is a pretty good metric at this point in the year. For perspective, last year we had 53% of our sales team members hit or exceed their sales goal overall. So next is our sales team members that are between 50 and 100%. So somewhere around 58% is where we should be, which the vast majority are here, and a number are knocking on the door to exceed their annual sales goal in the next few weeks or few days as well. So congratulations there. And then this is a team that's below 50%. So we've got a little work to do here to get back on track. I will give a shout out to our sales team members for great work on completing mid-year sales plans. The sales leadership team is in the process of reviewing those now. We saw a lot of good work there. We ask that you use that as your roadmap to continue to push forward and hit or exceed your annual sales goal. We are also compiling a list of all of the hot prospect targets that were in the mid-year sales plans, so that we can focus on those accounts and prospects to help get those over the line for us to close more deals as we go through the remainder of the year. So more to come around that, and most likely a follow-up from your sales leader as well around your mid-year plan. So thanks to everyone for getting those in and on time. So with that, we'll move into our recent new business wins, and I'm hoping that by now we have fixed Jonathan McGann's issues with his audio. Is that true or not true?
He's almost on. I just need 1 second. He's got a call back in. I got him, but he needs to call back in with using a different PIN. So we'll give him 1 second. Mr. McGann can hear us, but he needs to call back in using a different PIN, and I just emailed it back to him. So if you want to give me 2 seconds, hopefully he'll be right back on. Then I can unmute him. He had a firewall issue with where he's at, and he was unable to get into the web portion, so I had to get into the web portion for him. So yeah.
Well, to keep us on track, I'm gonna keep moving through this, and hopefully he'll join us momentarily.
Yep, he should be.
So we'll walk through some of the Eastern region wins here. Our first win is Andy Sharp, a big win with Carolina Logistics that he put together for 8-1. Andy used a new program that he has developed as proprietary to transfer.
Mr. McGann. Sorry, John. There we go. We got him.
What a country.
All right. McGann, you on?
I'm ready. Live in the living
All right.
color.
All right. Well, I was in the middle of Andy's win there, so if you want to take it from there, my man.
Nice. Obviously, a huge one for us at 127. There's sort of two pieces that go into that. You probably already mentioned. It's funny. I've got 4 to share this month, which is really exciting. And I kind of came up with a lessons learned or sort of best practices shared. And Andy's going to speak later in the call about the specialty program he designed that really was the secret sauce for this win. But actually, I'm going to flip it on everybody. The more I learned about it, the real key to the win was a center of influence. He was at a trucking conference. There's a lawyer that is sort of the lawyer to the stars, to the large fleets, and Andy spent some time with that lawyer, and it was really that connection where the lawyer told the buyer, hey, you should talk to this guy. He's got something for you. That was really the first chess piece, move that got us there. And then only after that fact where he went in, built rapport, and actually developed the product is, eventually why we got the win. But really, if you rewind the tape and look why we won this, it was Andy's development of that center of influence and that referral or reference in. And as we all know, if you get a board member or a high-level advisor or consultant that they trust, giving them a referral to you, it's worth its weight in gold. So I won't steal any of Andy's thunder on the program and what he did. I'll let him share that with you later. But that connection to the center of influence is really what I wanted to highlight. So great job, Andy and team. The next one is from Johns Creek, Georgia. It's called Natural Body Spa and Shop, $24,000 in revenue, which is great, right in our wheelhouse. Our target of $25,000 is an up. This is from Bruce Wharton. It was funny, Bruce was very, in his normal fashion, sort of demure about, oh, yeah, it's not that big a deal. But this was a win back, and the takeaway I wanted everybody to have is often, and me included, you get your ego in the way when you get fired and you say, oh, the heck with those guys, I'll never talk to them again. And very often they go for greener pastures and, something better, and then they realize, what they had with us wasn't, so bad. So this one kind of left the barn and then came back. They're growing. They're in Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee, and just a wonderful win for us to get back a client that was, going the other way. So congratulations to Bruce on that one. This next win I'm very proud of. This is Steve Billings, one of our original SEALs for a couple of years ago. Couldn't spell insurance. Everyone, I think, has seen some of his past wins where he was in the waste hauling space. He sort of expanded his PPCs from there to other related, like recycling and other related industries. This one was great. He actually called on a neighbor of theirs, basically, that really wasn't ready to buy yet, but liked the story and referred Stephen to Residue and said, hey, you might be able to help them. We got in there, great work. They were miscoded on a workers' comp class. The guy had been begging his incumbent agent to listen to him, and they wouldn't. Of course, Stephen took some extra time, went in with Terry Pegler. We got a friendly underwriter to look at that code and make the change, and ipso facto, we're 13,000 to the good, and a wonderful opportunity to grow. That company they have 1 million square foot factory space, warehouse space, and they intend to fill it. So that's going to be a wonderful growing account. And now Stephen's going back to the original client that referred him over there to say, hey, look what we did for them, and maybe it's time for us to do that for you. So a wonderful persistence win and referral for Steve Billings. So congratulations, Stephen. And then the last one is Phoenix Packaging. The lesson learned here in Greensboro has just been a poster child for us in the east of this is cross-sale and referral from EB to PNC. Jonathan Lancaster, Miles on this one. This was an existing Miles PNC client, and as these guys often do, they kind of pass those relationships and referrals back and forth to each other, something we all strive to do in our other offices in other regions, but these guys have the secret sauce to do it. So in addition to the PNC revenue, Lancaster came in and picked up another 10,000 revs for us on EB, and he's cranking it out. He's in 137, I think, for the year when I last checked. So well on his way to Summit Club. So congratulations to both Jonathan and Miles. And that is it for my portion of the program. I think over to Fred in the West.
Thanks, JD. First one we want to talk about today, Dan Mello out of the Stockton office, and kind of a good story here with RDR Builders. Wonderful $33,000 revenue win. The great news here is kind of a referral from a current client. Again, and Dan ended up getting some builders risk coverage in there for several products they had going. And again, what we do want to point out here is, again, don't be afraid to ask your current clients what the heck's going on from a referral standpoint, or better yet, as we like to talk about, an introduction to perhaps somebody they do business with. Big win for Dan, and again, in his first full year with us, this put Dan over $100,000 in new revenue for the year already, and just under the Summit Club number being required. So we're expecting Dan to, again, his first full year, hopefully be a Summit Club member. Way to go, Dan. Our second win to talk about, and this is really an interesting one with Michael Stallone and Cisco. And yes, from our new phone system, this is Cisco. I think they're somewhere around number 50 on the Fortune 100 list, 70,000 employees, all that good stuff. Anyway, they acquired, excuse me, one of our accounts, OpenDNS, which was a 400 life account in Walnut Creek. Again, Michael was somehow able to navigate Cisco and actually get in there and have a conversation with them, actually get in to meet the director of HR, again, with the whole transition scenario that was going to be required with OpenDNS. And he talked about, the capabilities, compliance, communications, benefits analysis, things of that nature. Also uses account manager, Margarita Cervantes, so kudos to her as well. And together they were able to secure a $50,000 consulting agreement, basically with the Affordable Care Act and ERISA reporting, communications, things of that nature. And also involved in that whole deal, as we go a little bit up the chain with Jamie, and then our controller, Carrie Ford, kind of navigating the Cisco world of vendor accounting and all that. And they were able to put together the total package, which, again, the hierarchy of Cisco allowed basically Ascension to keep the account and increase the necessary coverage. So a wonderful win for Michael. Again, as well as Dan, that puts him significantly over 100,000 of revenue, and has, again, Summit Club in his sights as well. So again, it should be, again, two guys, first full year, Ascension, expect to be Summit Club attendees this year. Way to go, guys. Two great wins. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Fred. We've got one more win. I'll ask Krista Stanek from Team ACS to outline a new win on their team. Krista?
Thanks, Sean. Hi, everyone. Please join me in congratulating Carol Maloof on writing Manhattanville College. Carol did a great job identifying non-traditional opportunities that would match up with Ascension's products and services with the school's needs, which resulted in this new sale for claims administration services. In addition, Carol has sold two smaller cases just in the last week, which were about $5,000 in revenue each. So she's had a really great month. So great job, Carol. Congratulations. I'd also just like to mention, I love supporting our existing clients, which normally has to do with drinking wine. But that natural body spa that Bruce just closed, I cannot wait till the next time I go to Georgia to visit Morehouse College, and I'm going to stop there. So good job. Thanks, Sean.
I'm sure Bruce, thanks for that, Krista. I'm sure Bruce can get your VIP treatment there as well.
Hey, John, this is Fred again. Before we get into the organic growth initiative, just want to let you know that people at all levels of the company play in this in our whole growth scenario. In speaking with Steve Martin earlier today, he just added 40 grand of revenue. I believe he just added it this morning to Salesforce. And his numbers, not only does he run Pan American, but he's also produced in excess of 100 grand of new revenue this year. So again, when you're thinking you're too busy, guys out there, kind of keep that one in mind as well. Thanks, John.
Good point, Fred. Thanks for bringing it in. I did notice Steve's big win as well. So a big shout out to Steve and team and all the sales team members having a good year so far, and thank you for your work. So we'll jump into our organic growth initiative area now. We instigated the Ascension value proposition earlier this year, and we've had a couple of instances where we've had the technologies worked for us to make this happen. Dean Callender, who is a true consummate salesperson, has joined us to talk about his personal value proposition. This is the definition of a value proposition, and we all know, being in sales, that a value proposition is the foundation of advisory selling or consultative selling. And I'm not sure there's anybody that does it a whole lot better than Dean. Dean's always been at the top of the leaderboard. He's been to every summit club that we've ever had. Dean's over 200K year to date and well over it last year as well. So Dean's on the line. He's going to talk about his personal value proposition, how he closes deals, how he networks, how he uses the proposition to close deals, and Dean's here to share that with us today. So Dean, take it away, my friend.
Thank you. I think one of the things that was mentioned earlier, which is not losing your customers. There are no greener pastures. I think if you swing back on anybody that left us, you can get them back a year or two later. I mainly target companies that are 300 to 75 in size for health, 150 plus for workers' comp or package. And I'm usually looking for people that are referrals now. I constantly ask my current customers, CEOs, CFOs, presidents for referrals to other like businesses of like size that may need the same expertise, and usually get some good referrals. But you sort of got to watch out in case they start referring their brother or brother-in-law who has like a little shop with 5 employees, and you can get pigeonholed into a whole lot of work for practically nothing. So make sure that when you're asking for those referrals, you specify this is the level that I'm looking for, and these are the type of companies that I want to help. And then once you pick a target, don't let go. It's the sort of thing where you go in and you talk to somebody, it's a referral or even a cold call, and if they're telling you they love their current broker, I always compliment them and say, you know what, that's exactly what my customers say of me, and I respect that. If your current broker's doing a great job, you're the kind of customer I want, a loyal customer who understands the value of a broker. And then you don't just walk away. You come back like 6 months later and you revisit them, and you make sure that you meet them in social settings or so forth. Like if you see them at a mixer or if you see them at a workshop, you go over, shake their hand, just say hello again. You want to keep in front of them, because the worst thing that can happen is if you're only visiting a customer once a year that's a potential, a really good target, they may sometime during the year something happens, they don't remember you because they only see you once a year and they go with somebody else. I had that happen about 7 years ago where the guy was interested, and then when I went back the next year, he told me, oh yeah, I need to make a change, but I couldn't find your card, so I went with another broker. I'm just like, really? One of the things that when you see somebody at a social gathering, don't be a pest. Just talk to them and discuss, general things. You just want to get your face out there. You don't want to put on a hardcore press, especially if it's, not a business gathering. And of course, if you ever, in the unique situation where you see a customer talking to a good potential customer, just walk right in and get yourself introduced in that conversation, because I've had it happen where the current customer says to the new customer, have you met my broker, Dean Callender? Is he your broker too? He should be. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. But, for as far as my business, I focus on ag because of the industry and talking with people within it. There's a lot of folks that exchange ideas and make referrals, and it's pretty tight. We have certain markets for that, for health and benefits as well as workers' comp. So it makes sense for me to go after that target with our loss control and our claims management. We can easily say that we've got better service than anyone else, and which makes for a lot of broker records.
Fantastic, Dean. Thank you for that. And I got to give you a big shout out, Dean. You're one of the best Salesforce users we have. When I look at your records, man, it's good stuff in there. Sales activity, everything's filled out, moving sales stages. So I wanted to thank you for that, and thank you for joining us today and sharing your overall value proposition.
Welcome.
Speaking of a very tight and compelling value proposition, Andy Sharp has got a very tight one in the transportation space. And we highlighted the Carolina Logistics win earlier in our new business wins. This is a transportation product that Andy has developed with a carrier as well as Lloyd Syndicate, and that's how he closed the Carolina Logistics deal. Andy's going to join us and walk through the product offering so that you could use this on any transportation or trucking related risks that are out there. So, Andy, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So if you'll just walk through your program, that'd be fantastic. I've got the slide up that I sent you yesterday. I know that you're in a coffee shop somewhere, so you might not be able to see the screen.
Sure thing. I'm actually with those clients, Carolina Logistics, today, and just took a break for this call. I'd like to echo what Dean said, especially on the social side and the association networkings, because to back up on this program and the introduction, I've been going to these associations now for 15 years, and it took many, especially starting out at 22, it took many years to really start feeling comfortable and networking better, and only in the last 3 to 5 years has that really grown. And that's where I truly developed a good relationship with this top 5 attorney in the country for transportation out of South Carolina. Well, through those associations and going to their legal seminars, he now realized I know what the heck I'm talking about. So he's referred in me to several accounts, especially for this work comp owner-operator program in North Carolina for occupational accident with Cherokee Insurance. Well, Cherokee hasn't been as flexible as we needed, so ended up connecting with a guy that we used to work with 20 years ago when we were under a different corporate umbrella, and he put together this Lloyd's program for us. It's not Transure's in-house cargo Lloyd's and physical damage Lloyd's. It's a different Lloyd's program managed through a company called Midlands out of Texas. They can do all states, occupational accident, and then special statutory workers' comp if driver deemed an employee. Currently, right now, they're only going to do this special endorsement for us if the company has a North Carolina exposure. So say you're a California company with, you happen to have a North Carolina driver. They can add that endorsement, which would cover all states statutorily as needed, because I know California and some other states have different issues. We're working with them right now to get a special exclusive California endorsement, because I told them about how many agents we have in that space. So that should hopefully come in the next couple weeks. They got this program in North Carolina turned around really quickly, so I don't anticipate it taking too long. Their pricing can be really aggressive, and they'll do any type of transportation. They can do passenger vans, cargo vans, straight trucks, pickup trucks. So if you have any kind of fleet that has transportation coverage, they can have that included. And their pricing could be anywhere from $60 to $150 per driver per month, depending on the losses. They've been great to work with. They'll quote quickly, and I've got another call, so excuse any silence. So it's a great program, and it's really easy to contact. If anybody has any interest in it, shoot me an email. I'll forward you the contact info. This guy's name is Steve Benedict. It's really so far been a great program, and we'll see how it goes. This Carolina Logistics is about 500 drivers, and we're about to write a couple of other small ones. So it can be anything from one driver to thousands. And
awesome, Andy.
Slide of color bullets. And that's about it.
Oh, thank you, Andy, for sharing that on the slide. if you don't have Andy's contact information, it's on here. You can certainly reach out directly to Andy, or you can contact me, and I'll put you in touch with Andy. But it's a great program. That's something that's proprietary to Ascension and that you can leverage in your sales efforts going forward. So another example of a strong value proposition overall. So Andy and Dean, thank you both for taking time out of your day. I know that Andy's in front of his client right now, needed to slip out for this. So Andy, if you need to drop off, feel free. But thank you again. So we'll begin to wrap things up for today. We'll walk through our Ascension Sales Playbook here quickly, which is the blocking and tackling of what we do. So our August PPC launches, these are the launches that were outlined in the 2016 sales plans for August by sales team. So if you're on here, please work closely with your sales leader to get your PPC launched and out in early August. That can help drive our pipe for Q4 as well as Q1 17, which we certainly need to hit our future sales targets. I want to remind everyone that we've got a business intelligence resource that is built into Salesforce. Data.com is what we use. It is a Salesforce company. Every Salesforce user within Ascension has access to this. There are over 8 million records in here. These records have direct dial phone numbers as well as email addresses, very easily transferable from Data.com to your campaign for a contact or into an opportunity screen or prospect screen, whatever it may be. It's just a couple of clicks and it's in there, so you don't have to fill all the data in. I've had a number of questions about what type of intelligence resources we have, so I wanted to put this out today and remind everybody that we've got Data.com. Everybody should have access to it. If for some reason it is not in your instance of Salesforce.com, please let me know and we'll do a quick link session and I'll show you how to access it and how to use it as well. So keep Data.com front of mind. I was asked to put this back in our Salesforce.com sales stage definitions. We've seen these a few times along the way. We're really focused at this point on stage 50 and 75, proposal quoted, presented, as well as negotiating proposal and finalist. We've seen through our sales contest, our team use the sales stages more effectively going forward. As we look forward, leadership is able to look at the 50s and 75s to see what can be closable in a given month and reach out for assistance. So please keep this top of mind. Make sure you're moving your sales stages through the pipeline or through the process here. And again, this is where you do that on the opportunity information screen. This drop-down box, just keep pushing them through until we get to the closed and won section. So just keep that top of mind. Knowing where we are with the pipeline and their stages is very important to the sales leadership team, and we're looking at that more and more on a weekly basis. So with that, we'll move to the end of our call. Just a reminder of the Summit Club, which is April 27 to 30 next year. Top right are the sales team members who have currently qualified at $150,000 or higher. Had a couple trend in this month. Mike Weintraub moved in. So congratulations, Mike, as well as Sal Rivera. So congratulations, Sal, for being part of the Summit Club for 2016. We're a few minutes over our time, but I think it was great time spent together today learning more about Dean as well as Andy's new program. Thank you for all that participated. I'll have the recording out later today, and thank you for your time. We'll end the call now and have a fantastic day.